Hello everyone. We look at the Goroka Show this weekend as well as the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso festival in this edition. They are different this time for tourists as well as Papua New Guineans. The Goroka Show is into its 63rd year and still going very strong. But this weekend the difference is the houseman, how that is central and why. We hear from the show committee's chairperson, Karen Hargraves. Firstly, how Tourism Promotion Authority comes good with assistance.
As you know, there are a lot of attractions that makes tourists come to Papua New Guinea, including diving, surfing, trekking, bird watching, and so many products that bring a lot of tourists to Papua New Guinea. But one of the major competitive advantage that we have over other destinations like Fiji and Bali, it's our culture. And I think Goroka over the last 63 years without fail has been delivering Goroka shows. So today, on behalf of the Minister, I'm pleased and happy to present the Goroka Show Committee with this check of 100,000 as part of our contribution towards delivering the 63rd Goroka Show successfully. So thank you very much, Karen and your show committee.
Thank you, Jerry. On behalf of the organising committee of the 63rd Goroka Show, I'd like to say a big thank you and appreciation to TPA and the government of Papua New Guinea for always supporting the Goroka Show. It's one of our iconic cultural events in the country that promotes tourism in a big way, apart from all the other tourism activities that we have in this beautiful country.
Get ready for the Goroka Show 2019 on September 13 to 15 in the heart of the Eastern Highlands capital. Starting way back in 1957, the Goroka Show was introduced and organised by Australian Kiapso patrol officers who initially represented each district they worked in by proudly displaying the culture of their respective districts in roundhouses. Fast forward 63 years later and the Goroka Show is a cultural spectacle in its own right. Here's John Eggins with the chairperson of the Goroka Show.
Thank you, Karen, for talking to us. The Goroka Show, famous, popular. What are we expecting this round?
Oh, this year, the show is on September 13, 14 and 15.
Okay.
It starts with our traditional Piganini Festival, which the theory behind that is to educate our younger generation about our culture, and that's taking off in a big way.
Okay.
And
something absent in the rest of the country.
Yes,
passing on those
traditions, and as we know, culture is slowly dying. So the show plays its part in one way or another, and that's through the Piganini Festival.
So Piganinis, school kids, where are you picking them from?
Yes, from the schools around the district in Eastern Highlands Province. So we've got around 800 children. That'll be in traditional bilas. That'll come in on the Friday. It's their day. All the other kids, it's free entry for them.
So we're going to see the Merawakans in their kits and then a mud men and all that.
Yeah, we've got the Piganini mud children that'll be coming in. So it's a variety of all the different cultures that we're trying to encourage for the kids.
Okay. Are we expecting any surprises the Goroka Show this time?
Yes, every year we try to add a new activity for our spectators, both international and local. And this year we've got the Houseman. That's a new initiative by the Working Committee.
Yeah. Houseman, we know Houseman. What's going to be the difference?
The Houseman, okay, inside the Houseman we'll have like the traditional methods of making bows and arrows, the flute, all the traditional things that our forefathers used to do back in, the Tumbuna days.
Okay.
And all that's fading away, and also playing the kuakumba, all that. So that'll be inside the Houseman, and we're anticipating it to be popular.
Okay, so that's targeted to the tourists as well as those young kids you're talking about.
Of course. I think a lot of children don't know how the bow and arrow is made, for example. Yeah. So it's an educational thing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Through the gate, how many people are you expecting this time?
Well, that's a bit of I can't really give you a confirmed figure, But we anticipate.
Is it increased every year, or do you see?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Increases every year, and like I say, it all comes back to what we offer in terms of activities.
Okay.
So the more activities we have, of course, the more we get through the gates.
Okay. All right, let's talk about tourists coming into the gate. You've been involved with tourism a little bit in the Eastern Highlands and in the country. So how many tourists are you expecting? How many have you had, and what are you expecting this time?
2018, we had over 1,000 tourists come in.
1,000?
1,000 tourists.
Wow.
We've got the numbers to prove that as well. And this year we expect more than 1,000. Why I say this is because most of the tour companies, the international tour companies, they book 2 years in advance for the Goroka Show. So already we're getting requests for 2020 and 2022 dates.
Wow, 2 or 3 years in advance.
Yeah, exactly, because accommodation is always full, which is good for the local economy as well, for the province and Goroka district. So tourists are booked well in advance.
Okay. So what sort of tourists are you getting? Are they Australians, New Zealanders, British, Americans? Who are they?
Oh, they come from all over the world. We had a Croatian TV crew come in from Croatia last year.
Croatia?
Croatia, yes. And they did a cultural documentary on the show. And we've got a team from Israel. We've got the National Geographic doing a film this year.
Are they coming this year?
Yes, they're coming this year. And we've got Japanese, Europeans, Americans, so basically all around the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your show committee, who are they? The local Eastern Highlanders? Where do they come from?
Yes, they're local Eastern Highlanders. They're volunteers. They've given a lot of their time because, as you know, the show, we're not a company. We depend entirely on sponsorship. So my working committee, they work so hard, and they're local people. They represent each of the districts in the province. So we've got people from everywhere within Eastern Highlands.
And the show will be at the Goroka Sports Institute, the same venue?
Yes, it's our home, and it's an annual event for us there. And I think one of the success is because it's at the National Sports Institute.
Any thought about moving it to another location? Well, because you might be getting bigger, and the institute might be getting smaller.
Getting smaller, and as we know, land is hard to get. So we're just, for now, we're at the NSI until such time.
All right.
Yeah.
We ran out of time. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Karen Hargraves, the chairperson of the Goroka Show Committee, doing it 9 years in the running. The show will be the 63rd, 3 years before the Hagen Show, and also a few years before the Lay Show, making the Goroka Show the oldest in that part of the country. 1 million different journeys. After the break, the plans for the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival. Western influences are bit by bit but surely creeping into the way people dress for cultural festivities, using clothes, wearing thongs or sunglasses, for instance, bras even. There is one cultural show where you will not see any of those, and that is at the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival next month. To keep that intact and the festival sustained, the Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority went to their assistance.
I think this is the 9th show that you are hosting successfully, and we are very, very proud about the achievement of the committee. And also most of the time, we hear about all the negative stories that comes out of Southern Islands, but it doesn't mean that, there's a lot of negative things happening only. I think there are more positive things happening in Southern Islands, and one of the things is the delivering of Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival. And I think you have delivered that successfully over the last 8 times, and I think this year marks the 9th Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival. So on behalf of the government and the minister, we are pleased and excited about the good work that you have done in Southern Islands, especially through the festival. And today we are here to present you the check of 100,000 to assist you deliver the 9th Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival. So thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival, our steering team on the ground were right now working really hard to host the 9th annual event in Kutubu. And the organizers who are behind me every time, the volunteers. We would like to thank the government of Papua New Guinea and the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and PNG TPA for the support of 100,000 that you have given us to host the 9th annual event.
The small remote village of Daga in Kutubu springs to life, especially when September comes around each year. It's the time of the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival, and this year it will take place from the 19th to the 21st of September. Happening along the scenic Lake Kutubu, which is a natural wonder in itself, the festival's theme this year is Stronging and Walk Boom One Time, or Strengthening and Working Together, and celebrates itself in the importance of the Kundu drum and Digaso oil in the cultural tradition of the Kutubu people in the Southern Highlands province. John Eggins talks to Sina Jeffrey, the woman powering behind this unique festival.
Okay, thank you, Siana, for talking to us. The Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival. Tell me, first of all, how different is that to all the other shows in the Highlands region?
I think the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival is truly different, and it's very unique compared to the rest of the cultural shows that are hosted around the country. Why? Because it's in the remotest part of the country, and people think that it's inaccessible and really remote, that there are no people. But in fact, the culture around there, given the diverse, the environment and the biodiversity that is there, the culture of the people there is really unique. And compared to most of the shows, you will see that most of the cultures that they have, especially the traditional costumes that they wear, are similar. But when you come to the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival, you will see a diverse group of sing groups, all different that you've never seen in any of the shows, like Goroka or Hagen or the Ena show.
Some, all right, I see that and I get it, that the ones in Goroka and Hagen, all right, the ladies would have bras on. With the traditional costumes, and the men would wear glasses and probably boots on their feet. Are we seeing any of that in Kutubu?
You will never see any of those in Kutubu. For the Kutubu people, their culture is so unique. The women wear the tapas, the women from the Kutubu area alone, and the women from the Bosavi, they have this kind of bilum to cover themselves. And the women from the Hela, you will see, piece of the traditional, like the malos, they'll be using.
So it's the Kutubu people themselves. Do you get some hangings involved there? Do you get some from the Gulf province or Western province involved in there as well?
The festival itself is hosted in Kutubu, but if you attend the event and see the number of sing groups, they will come from Kikori, Semberiki, they will come from Hela, Homapawa, Tari Magarima, they come from the Nipa area, the Nembi Plateau, the Kaguens. You will see the Hangans, we engaged them in 2015. We did the demonstration of the exchange of the Digaso oil and the Enga traditional salt. We started that actually in Kutubu in 2015. And so you will see diverse people from different cultures and provinces, not only Kutubu.
But you say that Kutubu is remote, there are people live there. But for the festival, will people go there? How do they get there?
We have some enthusiastic and real, adventurous tourists and people out there. They've really shown interest to come to the festival.
Are they just overseas tourists or Papua New Guinean tourists as well?
We also have Papua New Guinean tourists as well. Many from PNG, and we have about less than 20 from the international tourists coming.
So how are you marketing it abroad?
Actually, since the last 8 years, we've been doing it alone using our own media, our local media teams, NBC, MTV Kundu 2, and TV1. and 2 national newspapers that we have, and also our social media, Facebooks. And some of our tourists have also helped us using their own personal blogs and, their tour operators' websites. But since 2017, TPA has really assisted us to market our events, and I'm really thankful for that.
Okay. Any surprises this year? Something unique, something that you may not have had in the previous festivities? Any surprises this year?
This year we were really looking forward to have the exchange of the traditional salt and the Digaso oil done at the site itself in Kutubu, where we have the trees growing.
Okay.
But unfortunately, because of the logistics that we had to bring in the team from far away, like the hangar, we had to, break for a while and look forward to it next year. But this year, we're having the canoe racing, and it will be different from last year, where we had one team of female and one team of male. But this year, we're having 2 teams. And it's going to be a whole day canoe racing, not a half day like last year.
So the tourists are going to be in the canoe racing as well?
We have about 20 on the list already for this year.
All right. We are running out of time, so 30 seconds. Why would you, apart from the authentic cultural festivities, why would you like anybody in this country, overseas, to go there, apart from the authenticity of your festivity?
I think one of the good reasons that one person would want to go there, we would like them to come up, is because you will need to feel the way the people of Kutubu feel. You will need to taste the food that they taste. It's a homestay thing. Unlike any other places you go, it's like you sleep in hotels and but this is home. It's real typical home lifestyle.
Thank you for talking to us. Signer Jeffrey Piliara, the organizer of the Kutubu Kundu and Digaso Festival. This is a million different journeys. We go to the Upper Pacific after the break.